Okay, so welcome to section 2 in the week 1 and module 1 of our project management professional training program. In this section, we're going to be discussing the standard for project management. So it's good to have you back here, and like I said, we'll be exploring the standard for project management, and this is a cornerstone for project management practices all around the world. So you'll be learning how this is done in real time. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. Now let's look at the definition first and foremost of the standard for project management. This actually refers to the globally recognized guide developed by the Project Management Institute, PMI. It outlines the best practices, principles, and processes used by project managers worldwide to deliver successful projects. Alright, so when we're referring to the standard for project management, we're talking about those practices. Alright, we call them best practices because they are actually standardized and used by all project managers. These are practices that have been tested for many years in different projects across different sectors and industries all around the world. That's why they're called best practices. Alright, and they are also principles and processes, and they are used by project managers worldwide, and they've been using these to deliver successful projects through the years. Okay, so let's move on. Why is this standard important? What's the importance of this standard for project management? Now, this standard is crucial for ensuring consistency and uniformity in project management practices across industries and organizations. So it's important for every project manager to be in alignment, all right, in the use of principles and methodology to ensure uniformity across industries and organizations. All right, so that's what makes this standard very important, and one that every project manager needs to know about. It involves a common language and framework for project managers to communicate and collaborate effectively. All right, so the standard gives project managers all around the world a uniform method of communication. All right, and so they can actually understand and relate with each other as far as project management is concerned. All right, so moving on. What are the key elements in this standard? All right, the standard for project management actually encompasses 5 key elements. The first is process groups. All right, process groups. So when we talk about process groups, we're talking about those areas or the different segments or phases that a project has to go through from beginning to end. And they include the initiation or initiating process group, the planning, executing, monitoring and control, and closing. All right, so these are 5 key areas or process groups that a project has to go through. Irrespective of the project, irrespective of the sector or industry, a project must go through this 5 different process groups, no matter the size and complexity of the project. If it is actually a project, it must involve initiation, planning, executing, monitoring and control, and also closing. So next is the knowledge area. The knowledge area is another key element in the standard for project management. And in this knowledge area, these are areas of knowledge or bodies of knowledge in project management that the project manager needs to know. All right, and they involve integration, scope, schedule, cost, quality, resources, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholder management. So these are actually the knowledge areas, and we're going to be looking at them shortly. Right, so next key element is inputs, tools, and techniques. All right, so later in the knowledge areas, you'll be seeing inputs, you'll be seeing tools and techniques, you'll also be seeing outputs. And the guide outlines these key elements and uses each of them to actually achieve project objectives. Okay, and then we also have outputs. All right, just like we have inputs, we have outputs, and the output defines the tangible results or deliverables of each process. Okay, next we have interactions. This is how processes and knowledge areas interact and influence each other. All right, project management is actually a process of processes. All right, and these processes work and interact with the various knowledge areas to be able to deliver results. All right, each of them influence one another. Lastly, alignment with the PMP exam. Now, familiarity with the standard for project management is critical for your PMP exam preparation, as it forms the basis for the exam questions and scenarios. So you will also find this standard very crucial in your preparation for the PMP exam. Okay, all right, so let's look at the key takeaways from this particular section. Firstly, you've been able to understand the definition and significance of the standard for project management as a global guide for project management practices. Also, you've been able to recognize its importance, that's the importance of the standard in providing consistency and a common language for project managers. Now you've also gotten acquainted with the key elements, including process groups, knowledge areas, inputs, tools and techniques, outputs, as well as interaction. All right, so the standard for project management is a very critical element that you need to know as far as project management is concerned to be able to deliver your projects effectively. All right, also you've been able to acknowledge the alignment of the standard with the PMP certification exam. All right, so that's the key takeaways in this particular section, section 2 of the week 1 and module 1 of our introduction to project management and the PMI framework. So congratulations. Now you have a solid grasp of the standard for project management. In the next section, we'll delve into common vocabulary. All right, we'll be looking at the vocabularies that will help enhance your understanding of project management terminology. Okay, so keep up the great progress, and I'll see you in the next section. Cheers.